Sometimes an affair comes as the best gift that turns a marriage around. तूने ये नहीं किया होता तो हम लोग कितने खुश थे, तुम्हारे दिमाग में खुश थे. Something was amiss in the equation that your partner needed to go elsewhere.
Women can forgive without going into the past, especially when it comes to infidelity.
Forgiveness means fully accepting that whatever has happened was supposed to happen this way only for my highest good. A hyper-independent woman, her energy will create a weak man even out of a strong man. So if I can stop being the man, then I'll find a man. A man likes a woman that needs him. It feeds his ego. But women are discovering their own masculinity now. But women should stay in her feminine to be her best. The unfortunate reality of today's dating world is, if we are dating, everything is a transaction. You put 50-50 on the table, I put 50-50 on the table. Men today want submissive and subservient providers in their life. आप पैसे भी बनाओ और चुप भी रहो.
Hi everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Uncharted Conversations. I'm your host Natasha Singh, and today's topic that we have, it's very interesting. We are going to talk about women in relationships, and I'm sure there's so many questions that we already have popping in our head, right? And I've got the best guest for that. We have already done one episode with her, and she's back again. Her name is Kavyal Sedani, a lot of people's favorite, right? And I just feel when she talks, it's therapy. It's like, you just want to keep listening to her. So I would just shut up now and get into the conversation. Hi, Kavyal. Welcome back to the Bay. This is the place that we guys first met, and it's really, really a good nostalgic feeling that I'm having right now.
Yes, it's been a while, and yet it just feels like yesterday.
Absolutely. And I'm so thrilled to have you again for one of our podcast episodes. So let's start with the $1 million question. Why are so many women turning single?
Because women no longer need men to take care of them. They would like a man to love them for who they are, but women are also not as easy as they used to be, simply because they are not dependent. A man likes a woman that needs him. It feeds his ego. It feeds his masculine energy. But women are discovering their own masculinity now. However, the beauty is that a woman should stay in her feminine to be her best. A woman is not turning masculine out of thrill. Sometimes a woman is forced to be masculine because of her circumstances, because of her situations. And she realizes that masculine is the only way she can survive in the world. Wherever there is threat, Natasha, it doesn't allow us to be our authentic self. Wherever there is threat, we operate from all of our skills which keep us on guard. If we are on guard, we can't fall in love. Then we just have to survive. Not all of them are ambitious out of choice. Some of them want to create an impact. Some of them want to make their own money. They want to have their 4 BHKs and their cars and their lifestyle. Some women just want to be taken care of. They want to be homemakers. They want to be the mother to their children. And that's lovely too, right? That's the essence of the feminine. That's lovely too. But for that woman, she needs a man who will take care of her. The men are not willing anymore. The unfortunate reality of today's dating world is, if we are dating, everything is a transaction. You put 50-50 on the table, I put 50-50 on the table. And if you're putting 50-50 only in the terms of service, taking care of the children, taking care of the house, that means nothing. Where's the money? Bring in the money. So she's like, wait, hold on. Am I forced to be masculine now? I didn't want to do this. And then out of anger, out of revenge, she becomes more and more masculine. She says, okay, now I'll show you. Now I'll go out there. Now I'll make the money. Unfortunately, men today want submissive and subservient providers in their women. आप पैसे भी बनाओ और चुप भी रहो. It is true. And for a man, if he is getting everything from the woman, if he is having a woman that can run the house, if he is having a woman that can make the money, that can also make the savings, he's going to chill. A man is a lion. They will have their lionesses go out and hunt. They will get up to eat and then they want to go back to sleep. And they want to be the king in the jungle.
So everything is at their convenience.
If they get everything at their convenience, this becomes a lazy man. This becomes a complacent man. But an ambitious woman, she has tasted a certain lifestyle now. And she wants a man who will give more of that to her. Sometimes a woman feels, okay, you're not giving me more of that, at least don't disturb me. But that's where the conflict lies. Because now she's no longer interested in this man who's become lazy and complacent. So she becomes more and more masculine. That, okay, he's definitely not supporting me and I've got to support myself even more. I've got to raise this lifestyle even more. So she falls out of love.
It's a very slow process. I think that's what they say about women, that women only make noise or once they know that, now the water has kind of overflowed.
Then they will exit. Women today don't want to make noise. If they're making noise, it means they're still interested in the relationship. If women stop making noise, they've exited. You haven't even noticed. They've gone.
Because women are getting more masculinized, right?
Absolutely.
So, I've heard this so many times that the hyper-masculine ladies, they need to soften a little. I think, like you very rightly said, so many of us have been conditioned to be the protectors of the family, to lead, to be there, that I think we have forgotten how to be vulnerable because we never found that space where we feel that, I can just drop my guards and I can just be myself and this person will take care of me. Now, when someone has not seen that and has not experienced it, right? In that case, does that become the responsibility of a man to make her feel that so she gets into her feminine self? Or what should then she do that she can reconnect because she has not experienced it, right? What can she do then?
I hope that this woman would continue looking for that man that will heal her. Because those men exist. They are far and fewer in between, but they exist. When a man can consistently speak to a woman softly, when a man can consistently tell her that it's okay to be her, when a man will not turn a conversation about how she's feeling, when he will not turn that into an argument, the woman will find it safer to go back to her femininity. Unfortunately, in our culture, the man is always the mama's boy. So it is the mama who has taken care of this man's emotions. So now he expects the wife to also take care of his emotions. And the girl is not allowed to have her emotions. Because if the girl was allowed to have her emotions, then she would fall in love. So the parents say, you're not going to talk to a boy, you're not going to do this, you're not going to do that. So she has waited her whole life for that one man. But there is a mismatch. Okay? But the tide is changing now. This generation of the younger boys, they are traveling out of their homes. They are becoming more independent. They are hearing the girls better. The masculine is now also embracing the feminine. Okay, they are also exploring their creative sides. So that is the good news. But as a human being, we all have to cover that journey from masculine to feminine and feminine to masculine again. But don't stop looking for that man who will make you feel like it was all worth it. You are safe now that you are with me. And for a man, remember that it is your greatest privilege to be able to honor a woman, her needs, her desires, to take care of her fears. When a man can take care of a woman And when a woman feels like, oh my God, this man is everything, the man can just keep growing, and keep growing. But when a man feels like, oh, my woman doesn't think highly of me, his growth gets stuck. So it's the privilege of both, the man and the woman, to support each other.
So beautiful. But, even when I think of the masculine girls, I look at it from the lens that maybe they did not have that strong masculine figure around them, and that's the reason that they had to be masculine. But even while imbibing masculinity, my theory says that they imbibe the bad masculinity and not the right, the good one, right?
Yes.
So now, I'm disconnected from my femininity, and now even if I'm masculine, I have the bad traits of that masculinity. Yeah. So I'm far away from both of it, right? So how do I think for women, first of all, it's very important to understand that what is basically the good traits or the good side of masculinity. And then even if they have to become hyper-masculine, and then how do they connect back to that feminine self while being that? Because I think we talk a lot about it, but women are not given the tools. How do I become that?
Most of the times, women don't know what is a positive masculine. You see movies like Kabir Singh. You see the character of Ranbir in Animal. That's not positive masculine. That's the wounded masculine. That's the toxic masculine. But you think that, look at how much power is there. If I become like that, nobody can hurt me. But the positive masculine is actually an energy that is very grounded. It is action-oriented, but it's not aggressive. It is protective, but it's not possessive. Okay? It is loving, but it's not obsessive. A beautiful, positive, masculine energy, when you actually come across it, you will want to rub your eyes and say, oh, does that exist? Because it's that subtle. Okay? लेकिन हमको तो सिर्फ extremes दिखता है. In the same way, a beautiful feminine energy is going with the flow. It's a yes energy. It's a nurturing energy. It's a playful energy. It's not मैं बिचारी अबला नारी. It's not dependent. It's not cranky and whining and gossiping. That's the wounded feminine. It's not the natural feminine. Okay? When we heal the wounds on the masculine and the feminine, then two drama-free people can come together. And a drama-free relationship is quiet. It's subtle. They are not the ones doing PDA. They are not the ones writing long love letters to each other on Instagram. So they are hard to find because they are so content in their own space. That's why you feel like, कहाँ दिखते हैं यार? कहाँ है ये? ना कोई picture बनाई है, ना कोई, we don't see, because those people, they don't want to show themselves. But that is very possible. What I have done to go from my masculine, because I was very masculine, to the feminine is I have actually looked up Google and I said, what does a positive feminine look like? And it said, oh, an energy that goes with the flow. So I'm like, oh, what's the opposite of that? Controlling. Yes, I am very controlling. I want to control every facet, every factor. So today I will practice letting go of control. If I go to the restaurant and say, what do you want to eat? I'm like, I'm not ordering. Let somebody else order. I'm going to go with the flow. If my children say, Mama, what am I supposed to do today? I will say, you decide what you want to do. It was hard work. It was the most edgy few days and edgy few weeks of my life. But when I actually came back into my feminine, from a head-oriented person, I became a heart-oriented person. And I got maximum success, maximum love when I started operating from my feminine energy. But now I feel safe. There was a reason I operated from my masculine. I didn't feel safe.
So is it that you imbibed your feminine and that's how you started feeling safe? Or you reached a point where you felt like that, I can be safe and I can practice that?
I had to break a lot of beliefs that the world is a bad place, that all men are like this, and all women are, they are against me. Women don't like me. I don't like being a woman. I had to break all of those beliefs. I had to heal myself and said, wait, where does that come from? Who told me that a woman is not my best friend? Who said that the world outside is not a great place? It's conditioning. I've spoken about conditioning so much. When I broke all of that, when I challenged it, and I said, okay, let me be the woman for once. Let me trust the man for once. Let me give out from my feminine energy instead of my masculine energy. When I started to make the change internally, the world mirrored a very different reality. Now I have some women in my life who are a fort around me, who protect me, because I love them. Earlier, I was scared of them. Because I was scared of them, they couldn't love me. You know how, have you noticed that on the road, if you're scared of a dog, the dog will run after you. The dog will bark. But if you are absolutely comfortable with them, they'll stand by you quietly. They are just mirroring your energy. The whole world is.
This is beautiful. Now, in fact, when you spoke of that, how when we are in the wounded femininity, how we start to gossip and be in that victim mindset, it's just not in the relationships that it manifests. It manifests everywhere. It manifests in your work, how you are taking it up. It manifests in your health also. So I feel what you said is so much the foundation and at the core that once you heal that, I feel then at a very holistic level, you will be able to see the changes, right? But we've spoken of the wounded femininity. Tell me, how does the wounded masculinity show up in relationship and damage it?
I feel bad for the men, especially in our country, because neither are they allowed to be their fully best masculine self. Neither are they allowed to be feminine. They're not allowed to be the best masculine self because the mothers have a compulsive need of pampering them. They don't cut their umbilical cords even if the man is 50 years old. The man can't prosper. And neither are they allowed to be feminine because, oh, you can't cry. You're supposed to be strong. You're supposed to be like this. You're supposed to behave like this. Be a man. So now it's like the roots of a plant are not strong, but you've painted it from outside. You've put in some injections somewhere. So it gives you fruit, but the fruit is not sweet. Right? I wish that a man is truly said, okay, go be yourself, explore, fall down, it's fine. When you fall, mama is not going to come to pick you up. Mama is right here. But do it again, do it again, do it again. You're allowed to fail. We don't have to show you off as a trophy boy in the family. We don't have to make you grow up with the pressures of making us feel like a successful family. You be a successful man. And success means you can truly be a good man in every sense. But men associate their masculinity with control, with anger. If you're a man, if you can make a woman, an old person, a child, an animal, and even a bird feel safe around you, that's when you truly become a good, strong man. This lesson is for the mothers of those men, that let them find themselves. Don't try to influence them. Because the mother of this man is also a wounded feminine. You know what happens is that when a woman does not find a great husband, she tries to turn her son into her ideal husband.
This is gonna go viral.
But because she has turned her son into her ideal husband, he cannot be a husband to another woman now.
Because mentally he's over.
Because the husband is going to feel guilty that my mother is my first woman. And the wife feels out of place. So, as crude as it may sound, most wives in their relationships feel like the mother and him are having a relationship. I'm an outsider. I'm not given space in between the mother and him. People are going to hate me for saying this, but this is the very bitter truth.
But then there are many women who say that, they are doing the inner work, right? They are trying to heal their wounds, or maybe they have also healed their wounds, but they're still not able to attract the man. Then where does this gap come from? Like, what is it that they're still not getting it or doing wrong and not able to attract that man?
I'm going to explain a theory to you here. As a child, we have a lot of unmet childhood needs. Okay? We want, some of us were not loved enough, some of us were not validated enough, somebody of us, we wanted to be protected, we didn't feel protected. Now, when we have needs which are not met, our personality splits into two parts. Okay? One part is that inner child that says, still, please give this to me, please, please, I'm waiting for somebody to give it to me. But this part has been hurt over and over again. She hasn't received it. So the other part becomes a protector part. And this protector part says, screw it. I'm going to go out there and do this on my own. I'm going to find ways of how I can get this. What you see in a woman nowadays is she is full of parts that protect herself. When this woman finds a secure, intimate relationship, that's when the inner child will come up again. Please love me. Please take care of me. I'm so tired of being hyper independent. Now the man is confused. Hey, wait, this is not the woman I fell in love with. I thought you were hyper independent. I thought you were going to take care of you and me both. You're asking me to take care of you? That's not very appealing. That's when they feel cheated in every relationship, because the first 3 months can be fantastic. But the minute she feels secure, the same dependencies open up. Now she's heartbroken, and now again her mind tells her, you can't afford to be a woman. You can't afford to be a woman. You can't afford to be a woman. So she goes back being the man. So if I can stop being the man, then I'll find a man. But of course, you have to allow yourself, you have to give yourself the permission to be vulnerable, which is dangerous. It's risky sometimes.
I feel, a lot of people say that, women have become hyper independent today. I feel what people don't get it is that independence is such a responsibility. It's like, you have to literally tell yourself every day that, I'm an independent woman. It is literally an affirmation that I think every independent girl who's listening to it, she would relate to it, that sometimes on some days we do not want to be independent. We just want to be taken care of, that please don't make me that. But it's just that, we are not given that space. We're not allowed.
What happens is that when somebody becomes independent and you know that I can get everything done all by myself, it becomes an addiction.
That's also true.
We love it. We love the fact that there are no dependencies. We love the fact we feel invincible. Okay. A hyper-independent woman, her energy will create a weak man even out of a strong man. So we have to take responsibility for that. That if you are willing to do all of your work and you are willing to do work for everybody else, nobody else needs to do anything anymore. Because as a part of the feminine, you are someone whose attention could be there in 10 places. A feminine energy is like an octopus. Okay? It can look at all the finer details. A man cannot multitask. For a man, multitasking is the art of fucking up multiple things at the same time. Okay? But for a woman, if she is working, her attention is also on her children, also on what needs to be prepared in the kitchen, also on the guests that are going to come in the evening. She can do those things at the same time. Once this feminine energy comes into a man's life, he says, oh, anyways, I do such a sloppy job. Oh, anyways, my wife has to tell me 4 times to do the same job. Let it be. She'll come and she'll do it. I just know she will do it. क्या करेगी? डांटेगी ना ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा. वो तो रोज़ सुनता हूँ. Let her do it. So you rob the man from his responsibility.
I heard it somewhere, that a good man has a strong woman in his life and a real man has a happy woman in his
Absolutely.
life. And the day I read it, I was mind blown by it. Because then I could really see examples of it. I was like, that is so true. Beautifully put.
Yes. I remember my husband telling me this when I was doing something. And I was climbing on top of some, shelves and cleaning things. And he comes into the room and he says, what are you doing? And I said, I'm cleaning. He's saying, get down. And I'm like, no, but I have to clean this. He said, get down now. I said, well, who's going to do it? He's saying, all of this, it's not your job. Let me help you. And I said, no, you relax. He's saying, shut up. Let me do this. And for the first time, I felt like,
oh, God.
Really?
So sweet.
Really? Like, you're going to do it for me? Okay. In that instant, it was like a snap of a finger, and I could go back to being a little princess to somebody. That was so powerful. Those moments of turning me into a woman or a girl who can say that even if I'm at my worst, even if my mascara is all over my face, and even if I'm crying, and even if I'm telling him that I'm not feeling like a mature woman right now, he still loves me. He doesn't try to fix me. He doesn't want to give me a solution. He will hear me out. Those moments when he has been a true man and he has allowed me to be a girl is what has cemented our relationship. I feel safe in fighting with this man.
Couldn't have been put in better words, literally.
I feel safe in fighting with my man. And that is what a masculine does. It'll make you feel like you can fight, and yet he's not going to leave you. He's not going to stop loving you. He will accept you with your flaws. And only a masculine can do that.
We should get printed on this t-shirt. I think this is going to be the quote. Honestly, I think this was profound. But, whenever a woman, for example, if she's trying and allowing herself to be that child self, right? But if that doesn't get reciprocated, of course she's going to hurt. And then suddenly that hurt child would become more hurt. Now, if that becomes a pattern, how then does she break it? That, how does she convince herself to keep opening up to love, to the possibility of love again and again, making sure that that already hurt child doesn't keep getting hurt again and again?
Yeah, but that is a reality of most women across the world today, that they have gotten hurt over and over and over again. For a woman like that, I always say, disconnect from the masculine energy at this point. Disconnect. Don't try to get your love from them, because you are now vibrating at a certain frequency where you're going to attract only the same kind of men, because you have some lessons to learn. Okay. When you do your inner work, when you heal yourself, and when you can start dressing like a woman, start talking like a woman, spend more time in nature, spend more time with animals, spend more time with other women. First, be your full feminine self, where you are allowing yourself to receive help from the other women. Find one feminine who is already healed and watch her. Stay around her. Observe her. Let a woman heal you and show you what you can become. When you have healed, then you can say, okay, if there is a man out there, I am open to this man. But if I see the red flags, I'm going to run miles away from it. The problem with women is we are conditioned to believe that we are incomplete without a man. So they are desperate. They feel they're not good enough till a man doesn't love them. And they also believe, मेरा प्यार उसे ठीक कर देगा. My love will change everything. Never. Your love will change nothing. Sometimes you can give a person the tools, you can give them money, you can give them the roadmap, you can handhold them, and yet they will not be there where they are talking about being. Because they don't want to be. Because being there takes work. Don't believe that your love is going to change a man and bring them into your space. Just be by yourself. When you are fully healed, when you are around nature, around plants, you're going to become so enigmatic, so powerful, that a good man will not be able to resist you. It'll happen when it'll happen. Don't go chasing. A woman does not chase. She attracts.
Sorry to bother you guys and interrupt the podcast, but if you really are resonating with what Kavyal is speaking about, we also have one pre-recorded program with her. Well, that's not in relationships, that's in abundance, wherein she's helping women how to break, first of all, how to identify what their limiting beliefs are regarding abundance, how to break through that and become the Lakshmi that they are. Right? So if you are curious about what this program is all about, we have given the link in the description. Please don't forget to go and check it out. But even there's this also theory about that, how this softness is such a power, which we women have, right? Oftentimes, and I hate it, that, oftentimes it is called that it's a manipulation tool. Like, women with their softness can manipulate people. And I hate it because men have real physical strength, but that is okay. Women, when she is soft, and because of her softness, she's able to get work done. It's called manipulation. How do you see that? How do you address that?
I see the same manipulation as magic. Women, just being women, can get their work done. That's magic. That's power. Why would a woman want to be a man? Why? So if a man thinks it's manipulation, okay, so be it. As long as you're falling for it, be it. I am my authentic self. I'm not setting up a trap. I'm just naturally attractive. So be it. I know my boundaries. I know my limitations. I'm also aware of my actions. If you are authentic enough as a man, you will see the authenticity in me. If you are not authentic as a man, if you are the one playing games, even my authenticity will look like manipulation. Sometimes it's not about who I am. It's also about how others see me.
And what other person is.
Exactly. I can't control how you see me. I can't control it.
Yeah. But the sad part is that, I've also heard women talking about that, how this power of softness is such a manipulation. And that hurts me. I'm like, why? Why is that strength and this is manipulation, right? I've also seen a lot of women now shying away from the concept of marriage. What is your take when women say that, I don't want to get married? Is it trauma?
Every woman has a need to be loved. Unfortunately, today, we have so many resources and so many opportunities that, yes, women can have the life that they want. Something's got to give. Somewhere we are going to have to accept that, yes, if there is a man and if he has an upper hand, but if he has a good upper hand, it'll make me feel good too. Let him. Let him. You can't be a giver and a receiver all by yourself. If you want to do it all by yourself, you're just going to find a man who is far lesser than who you are. You're not going to be attracted to him. You won't be able to respect him. Then you will just have a puppet you can control. And then you'll say, I'm so unlucky in love. All these men, yeah, they're there. I mean, there are plenty of men. They're always chasing me. I'm not attracted to them. Yes, honey, how will you be? You just wanted somebody you could control.
So there are power dynamics here.
Yes, it's a power dynamic. Whereas a woman will truly be attracted to a man who is far more powerful than her. That man will have the upper hand. You can't have everything.
But also, I think I've been seeing this on social media. In fact, I saw a very famous entrepreneur talking about it, that why do you need to get married if you've reached this age, and people might be talking about how the life is moving fast, you need to get married, there's so many things to do, so many experiences to have. And I was like, that's not an alternative. Don't prep people that you cannot do all of these now because you're married. That is such a wrong dialogue to have. And they don't understand that, when maybe someone who's like maybe in her wounded femininity, when she's seeing it, or someone who's in his wounded masculinity, when he's seeing it, the kind of impact, like they're going to be like, yeah, this guy is influential, I think I should totally buy by what he says. That's such a wrong approach. I think people have made this versus thing, wherein it's like, you can either have a good marriage, or then you can travel and have all those experiences. What do you think about it?
I think that a woman at the core or at the essence is somebody who wants to be loved and have a family. Okay? I'm in Delhi now for this shoot, and my family is in Bombay. I woke up feeling so incomplete because I'm in a hotel room and I have no one to kiss. I'm like, where's my husband? Where are my children? There's nobody. I'm waking up in this empty, fancy hotel room, but something's amiss. I make all the money I want. But at the core, if you ask me to choose, I'm going to go back to choose my family any day. But if a woman hasn't experienced that, she doesn't know better. She doesn't know better. Have you seen this on a table where there's a non-vegetarian enjoying, relishing the non-veg dishes, and they're talking to the vegetarian saying, oh, you don't know what you're missing. And the vegetarian is like, yeah, I don't miss that. I've never tried that. I don't care for it anymore. A woman today who's just after her power, her money, her independence, she doesn't know what it's missing. But in a woman's life, menopause plays magic.
Mm-hmm.
It's a forced change by the universe so that she can reconnect with her femininity. Something happens to a woman. If the first half of her life, she has been this masculine, this aggressive, go-getter, I'm going to do it all by myself. The minute she hits menopause, now she says, I don't want to do any of that anymore. I want to wake up and I want to make eggs for my family. I want to bake for everybody. I want to call friends over. I just want to chill, light a few candles and relax. She is forced to reconnect with her femininity. But if there is a woman who has been in the wounded feminine all through, who has been suppressed, who has not been allowed to be a bold version of herself, the moment she hits menopause, she goes around showing her middle finger to everyone. And she says, I don't care two hoots for what you think now. I want to do what I want to do. This is it. And the men in the family, the children in the family saying, Mummy pagal ho gayi hai. Isko kya ho gaya? Ye to hamari mummy hai hi nahi. Ye to meri bibi hai hi nahi. Okay, but that is nature trying to force a woman to get in touch with her masculinity as well. Because if you don't see it, your journey is incomplete. But if I have seen the feminine, I have seen the masculine, then I can choose. I have a sari in my wardrobe. I also have a pantsuit. I can choose what I want to wear today. I'm not forced to be stuck to one outfit. I'm not forced to be stuck to one part of my identity. All of us need to experience that choice. When I'm at work, I'm operating from my feminine self now. When I'm doing business meets, I'm operating from my masculine. When I'm with my husband, again I go back to my feminine. I change these roles possibly 5-6 times a day. But you can do that when you feel safe in both roles. If you feel unsafe in your feminine, you're going to hide that like a small packet that you've covered in 4 newspapers and hidden somewhere behind the third pile of your clothes. You can't find it when you go looking, अरे कहाँ गया, कहाँ गया, कहाँ गया? अरे हाँ यार था कहीं पे तो रखा है लेकिन कहाँ गया? You lose touch with it yourself. I just wish men knew how much we are waiting for them to be at their best. Because when a man is at his best, a woman can be at her best. That way, we're dependent on them. God trusts the woman so much that He's given her 2 eggs a month. And God doesn't trust a man. He's given a man millions of sperms every day. He doesn't trust it that the man may lose it. Okay? And yet, can a woman create a baby all by herself? I still need that careless man. We're still looking for that man. Where are you? Show up so that we can be our best self. And when we are our best self, we can be our best to you. I want to tell this to the women that if you want to be treated like a queen, you got to treat your man like a king first.
A lot of women in marriages, how they feel very exhausted and frustrated because they have to repeat one single thing like 1,000 times,
Yes.
right? And I think that kind of builds it up, and it becomes even more frustrating when it is related to some work. So I have already told you 1,000 times, and now eventually I have to do that work because you're not getting it. So she also ends up being frustrated and overworked. Here, how does she address the problem? So she also doesn't feel unseen or unheard, and they actually talk and address the concern that is there. Because I feel both are in that the man feels, okay, she's cribbing. She feels, because I've already told you 1,000 times. How many more times do I need to tell you, right? How does one approach that?
Stop doing the things that you are doing after being frustrated. Let it become an inconvenience for the man too. Okay? Now, men actually believe that the house is somehow magically always cleaned. The kitchen is somehow magically always organized. You trained him to believe that because you always got it done. Stop doing it. Initially, we are taught and trained that sabka sab kuch karo, spoil the man. Okay, because women, we want to give. We want to make them feel loved. We set the bar so high in the beginning that, out of love, we could even put toothpaste on a toothbrush and hand it over to our husbands in the first 6 months of marriage. Stop it. You just spoiled him. Now he's never going to pick up that toothbrush on his own. And now you've just got a shitload more of work to do. And one day when you stop, they'll be like, oh, maybe today's a bad day. Maybe she's just PMSing. Maybe she's got a period. She's going to do what she's going to do. I know that she's going to do it for me. But right from the beginning, set boundaries of how much I can and how much I can't. If you want to show the love, do that with physical touch. Do that with gifts. Do that with words of affirmation. Don't do it with acts of kindness all the time. It does not work for a man. A man can become very lazy because he's used to being the Raja Beta of his mother. And the mother will also tell you that, अपने डाइनिंग टेबल पे आपने देखा होगा, अरे इसको पराठा दे दो, इसको सब्जी दे दो, अरे आपके बेटे के भी तो हाथ हैं दो, उसके हाथ पहुंचते हैं सब्जी तक, उसको लेने दो खुद. But no, we've spoiled them. The women have spoiled the men. You can't blame the men now.
Do you think women can forgive without going into the past, especially when it comes to infidelity?
Everyone needs to get this straight. Forgiveness doesn't mean I forget and become best friends with you again. Forgiveness means completely letting go of the idea that if this did not happen, my life would be different. Forgiveness means fully accepting that whatever has happened was supposed to happen this way only for my highest good. Okay. So then you ask yourself that whatever this event was, whether my husband cheated on me, whether he betrayed me, what did I learn from there? I can't sit in, तूने ये नहीं किया होता तो हम लोग कितने खुश थे. तुम्हारे दिमाग में खुश थे. Something was amiss in the equation that your partner needed to go elsewhere. Okay. Now women are going to get very angry at this. What do you mean? I did everything. Are you blaming me? I'm not blaming you. All I'm saying is you had some lessons to learn. Sometimes the lessons that we have to learn in a marriage is out of too much love. Instead of his wife, you became his mother. And now he doesn't have a wife. He has two mothers. So now he will go looking for an equal partner. Sometimes we just feel like my husband needs this, I'm going to provide all of this, and I'm going to keep quiet because there's no point in communicating. But now this man goes out looking for another companion who he can share things with, who will not complain about his mother. Sometimes the women are so overwhelmed that they completely deplete themselves and they have no sensual energy and sexual energy left for the man. Only a mothering instinct. And now he will go out looking for the sensual and sexual energy outside. It's not always the woman's fault, but we have lessons to learn. Sometimes an affair is the only thing that wakes up a dead marriage, which is now made up only on a pile of habits. But the love is lost, the romance is lost, the respect is lost. But when there is an affair and there is so much of a breakdown, they come to the dead end. Now they feel like, I'm going to thrash this all out. I'm going to tell you everything I haven't told you in so many years. And when they start talking, that's when the tears flow. That's when the hugs happen. That's when the catharsis happens. That's when the healing happens. Now, from two wounded individuals, two healed individuals can come back together and understand that, oh, your needs changed over the years. I'm sorry, I never noticed. I thought you were still the woman I married 20 years ago. I thought you were still the man I fell in love with 20 years ago. But we are changing every year. Sometimes an affair comes as the best gift that turns a marriage around. We have to change our perspective.
What's the rationale behind, like how some people say that, one person for the life, basically monogamy and non-monogamy, right? What's the rationale behind that? Where does it come from, non-monogamous relationships?
Well, the monogamous relationships are created as a rule book by society so that there is not chaos, so that everybody's wife is not behind everybody else's husband and vice versa. Okay, because then there would be no stability whatsoever. Then you have multiple children here, there, everywhere, and there's no anchoring, there's confusion. But that worked at a time when we didn't have so many choices. All of us were watching Chitralekha and we were watching Filmfare Awards at one point of time when the options of entertainment on television were limited. Everybody was watching a Miss India show. Everybody was, watching the big events. But today, we don't even know that these events exist. We don't know when they came, when they went, who got an award. Because today our attention span is less than 15 seconds. Scrolling. If you sit with Netflix, sometimes you will just keep scrolling what movie to watch and you will not end up watching any movie at all. You'll get tired and you let go. There are so many choices that absolute monogamy today is the job of two very mature individuals only. जिसने घाट घाट का पानी पिया है ना, वो जाके अब बोलेगा, अब मुझे monogamy चाहिए. But if you sit with this thing that no, I'm always going to be monogamous, nothing, there's one partner for life, one partner for life, one partner for life, it's going to become a very difficult journey for you. So I tell the people now that before you choose to marry somebody, have as many relationships as you want.
So at least you know what you want to do.
Exactly. Because sometimes when, I've seen this with a man as well, that if he is forced to grow up too soon, if he is forced to leave his college in 12th grade or immediately after graduation, sit at work and just provide, be the responsible adult, something happens to them when they are at 45, 47, 48, and now suddenly they become irresponsible teenagers. Now, suddenly, all they want to do is join running clubs and go to the gym and go to the salon and, not go to work and not spend time with their family. They want their boys' trips and they want their bikes and they want their boats and whatever they can afford. And you realize that the childhood that they missed, the fun that they missed at one point, they want to have now when the parents can no longer tell them what to do.
Oh, yeah.
Each one of us wants to live every phase of life to the fullest. So when you're in your childhood, enjoy your childhood. When you're in your adulthood, don't be in a rush to become this earning person who can prove to the world, because if your adolescence is incomplete, even as an adult, you will behave like an adolescent. Live every phase fully. Date as many people as you want to date. But when you're ready, now whatever that age is, nobody else can dictate it for you. I was ready at 20. Somebody else could not be ready even at 42. When you're ready, then practice monogamy. Otherwise, it will play with your head. And everything outside in your life will be settled. But this guy will screw you over.
I heard Sadhguru once about having multiple sexual partners and how he connected to that, your body has a memory. Every time you're allowing someone, your
Yes.
body tends to get confused. What's your take on having multiple sexual partners? Because I feel, yes, sex is a need, but I feel at the same time we've also over-glorified that need. Like hunger is a need,
Yes.
but that doesn't mean that, I'll feed kachra to my body.
Absolutely.
Right? So if we can be mindful there, why can't we be mindful here as well? What's your take?
What Sadhguru has said, he talks about Runanubandh. Okay, the term that he uses is that the body remembers. We have cellular memory. We remember events even from our past lives. So, of course, if we are in such intimate touch with somebody, the aura fuses. We have an aura, and the aura fuses when we are in a sexual relationship with someone. So now what is yours becomes mine, and what is mine becomes yours. And we're not aware of what the other person is carrying. He is absolutely right. And the more frivolous sexual relationships that a person has, the more confused they become. And then when it is actually time for them to have sex and have children, they don't want to have sex anymore. The fastest way to lose your sex life sometimes is to get married. It's the truth today. It's the truth. I'm not scaring people off from marriage. It's just that so much sex has started from the age of 14 and 15 that by the time you've reached 25, 27, 28, the only way you can have children now is through doctors and IVF treatments. Everything has a certain time. Sex is sacred in a marriage because the worst fights outside can be repaired by that physical touch. Connection is built with that physical touch. Forgiveness happens through that physical touch. Reconnection happens through that physical touch. Confidence building happens through that physical touch. But now you've had so much physical touch that you're like, stay away from me. Stay away. Have you heard of sleep divorces? Yeah. Right? That we sleep separately. We are partners in the day. We are co-providers. We are a good family unit. But hey, you're in a different room, I'm in a different room.
Yeah. More like
I
flatmates.
don't want physical touch with you. Why is that becoming a norm? Knowing that the physical need is so intense. Because too much physical need has started too soon.
We typically see that how, because what you rightly said, how in a marriage, after a certain point of time, women lose interest in sex, right? They feel it's more of like a performative duty that they have to act. It just becomes mechanical. They're not even enjoying it, right? Is it to do that they're exhausted? Is it to do that they're not connected to their feminine? Because I'm sure in their much primer days, they would have been enjoying it, right?
Yeah.
And I feel, of course, there is this, need for the man. How do these very off-balance, people then come together?
For a woman to have sex, she needs to be emotionally connected. For a man to feel emotionally connected, he needs sex. Okay. But for a woman, because she's a giver at home, at office, the whole time, She is depleted. Now she needs a man to feed her self-esteem. Now she needs a man to tell her she looks good, she smells good. She needs a man to help her share the responsibilities for her to still be attracted to this man at night. Okay. Also, what happens is that when a woman has a child, there is so much hugging, kissing, cuddling with that child that her needs of intimacy are almost met. It may not be sexual intimacy, but it's still the love, it's still the connection, it's met. And once a woman has a child, a man will very often complain, she's forgotten me.
Yes.
It's like she's forgotten how to be a wife and my sexual partner the minute she had a child. That's when a man will stray. For a very exhausted woman and a man who truly wants to keep that spark alive, taking days off, okay, like this week, I'm not even going to touch you. Like, I'm going to wait for 1 week to be able to touch you. And this is not punishment. This is a game you play. It's like the way we plan date nights. Okay? We say that I am going to wait till I can kiss you again. I'm going to wait till I can touch you again. These small little rituals are important. Why is sex so exciting before you get married? Because you are planning, you're thinking, there's thought involved, you are waiting for it. Now the same partner that you were craving and writing and sexting and sending hot pictures to is right in your bedroom all the time, sleeping right next to you. You don't have to work hard for it. The chase is gone. The excitement is gone. Plus, for a woman, in her head, the man needs to earn the sex.
Oh, yeah.
Have you treated me right? Have you stood up for me? Have you loved me enough? If you haven't, you don't deserve it. Because in her head, she's doing it more for the man than she's doing it for herself. And she feels like, I'm already taking care of your children. I'm already taking care of your parents. I'm already taking care of your house. And this one more, I'm sorry, you don't deserve it. And a man, after he gets married, he stops trying to earn it. Why should I earn it? She's already mine. This is my marriage certificate. I'm entitled to it. That doesn't cut it. It's not enough.
Beautiful. So towards the end, Kavyal, one thing that you'd like to tell women, that they can be in their soft power without feeling that they have to perform softness, like it comes authentically to them, rather than them feeling the pressure that no, I have to be soft and I have to be vulnerable. What's that one thing that you'd leave our girlfriends with?
Your power is something that you will have to experience first. If you don't experience it, you will never know what a healed woman is talking about. I'll give you a simpler example. In my life, I have never tasted really good health. I've never tasted what an absolute fit body looks like. I don't know what it is. That's the struggle I have. So every time in my health journey, I go halfway and I come back. I go halfway and I come back. Okay? But if I had tasted that really light body, really strong body even once, I would know, oh my God, this is worth keeping. I'm going to do anything to stay here. The problem with most women, they've never tasted that femininity. So they don't know what they're missing. So they don't fight for it. But they've tasted masculinity very quickly.
True.
So they just keep coming back to the masculine. It's just a default. It's just so easy. This is home. Okay, I can be arrogant and my work is done. I can be aggressive, my work is done. I can just cut off. Be independent, my work is done. Who's going to go all the way to femininity? But femininity is where you are most powerful if you are in a woman's body. That's your highest privilege. if you want to let go of your highest privilege to trade for something else that is less desirable, who's the fool?
We. Definitely. Thank you so much, Kavyal, for again one more exciting episode with us, and really speaking to us. I felt so many things I feel I needed to hear regarding femininity, and I'm sure all the people who'd be listening to this, they would resonate with it. So thank you so much once again for opening up your heart and be here and do it again with us. And to everyone who has stayed till the end, first of all, thank you so much for staying till the end. We really hope that you found this podcast informative, insightful. It must have moved you somewhere, must have left you with an insight. So thank you so much. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can be aware of more such videos. And if you think that you have a woman in your circle who's still not connected to to her feminine self, please don't forget to share it with her so she can also at least be aware of what she's missing out. For another such interesting episodes, we'll be back soon. Please stay tuned. Thank you so much.